Melissa, I enjoy The Family Guy.
As do I.
I enjoy The Simpsons. I enjoy American Dad. I enjoy all those animated cartoons. I think they're funny.
Yes.
Now, I'm aware, excuse me, I'm aware that there are people who are out in the world who choose to play in the Fox Sandbox and bitch about Family Guy or American Dad or The Simpsons and write angry letters to Fox complaining about the content, not realizing that they could just not play in that sandbox.
Yeah, just not watch the show.
Just not watch the show.
Right.
Because it's pretty inward focused to assume that because I'm offended by what's on the TV, everyone must be, and thus it must be changed to my favor. Now, in this age of 500 channels to choose from, there's plenty of sandboxes. And then the complaint is, well, my children are watching it. Well, why is that? Why are your children watching it and you not watching your children? So do we go and we make a stink?
I just had an awesome visual, which I won't share with our viewers.
Okay, it's all right.
It's for a different network.
Yeah, it's for a completely different animated network.
Yes.
So I'm wondering, because I choose to just say, okay, I will take my energies, my gifts, talents, and abilities, and my blue hair, and I'll just go and put them elsewhere. If this sandbox, if it doesn't serve for me to be in your sandbox, I'll just go bring my blue hair to another sandbox. And there's plenty of sandboxes that I can volunteer my time and energies at. And then I expanded this to the idea of networks and television. And I can just turn the channel off, right? I mean, I know you have chosen not to watch TV, certain channels or shows for several reasons, most of which you label as they're lame as hell.
Yes.
And that's a scientific analysis that you've done.
It's a scientific fact.
Yes. That show bites.
Yeah.
And yet, I'm amazed at how many people expend a whole lot of energy to change the rules in a sandbox when there are so many other sandboxes to play in. So then, let's move it out of the network concept and into like grocery stores or products. Just as I can choose not to play in one sandbox because the rules don't serve me, I can choose to go play in another sandbox because the rules absolutely fit me. Like, for example, as we talked about recently, you and I choose to be vegan.
Right.
So we go and we eat at restaurants that support vegan, that have a vegan, at least vegan options, or if not completely vegan. I know some people choose organic food, so they make their choices on where to shop based on who has organic foods. And we as consumers have a whole lot more power than we give ourselves credit for, because money talks in this society. Where we put our money is where industry goes, because they want that money. You know, I remember listening to someone say something about endangered species. Something to the effect of, the only way to make a species not endangered is to eat it.
What the hell does that mean?
See, I said the same thing. And then it's kind of the idea of freakonomics, where if we want to eat the California condor, then industry, the commercial condor industry, will raise hundreds of thousands of condors for us to eat.
Gotcha.
And it will no longer be endangered. Because our money goes to wherever we want it to go, and commerce responds to that. But sometimes we lose track of that, and we become like herd cattle, where we go wherever we're prodded. And thus, even though, and I know this is going to come as a shock to people, McDonald's doesn't make good tasting food. It just makes food, and they've convinced us it's good. Because as soon as we started putting our money into McDonald's, a whole mess load of other restaurants started making McDonald's tasting food.
It's that damn Ronald McDonald. Slap a red wig on anyone, and I'm going to eat there.
Exactly.
I'm convinced.
He is a clown with magical powers. And so as a result, our consumerism actually built this fast food industry. And then people bitch about the fast food industry and how it's making people fat and this and that, not realizing or being accountable for the fact that we as consumers created it in the first place. We made McDonald's and Carl's Jr. and Jack in the Box and all these places, Wiener Schnitzel. We made them that because we chose to put our resources towards them. And the market just responded to that.
Yep. They're giving us what we want.
Well, they're giving us what we said we wanted at the time, and now it's the only game in town.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's based on results, it still continues to be what we want because we're not creating anything different.
Exactly.
We're not saying, okay, raise the bar or make your food better or anything like that.
Or better for us, at least. Because here's, there's a chain of stores called U Food Grill. Mm-hmm. And their whole purpose in food is healthy food. So their fries are not fried, they're baked, and all these different elements. And they use natural ingredients and this and that. And they open up these little stores and they feel like a fast food restaurant when you're in there. And the food is good tasting, but tastes different than McDonald's because it's not built the same way. And yet the one that was here
in Draper,
right down from us, failed, closed their doors. So then I wonder, how is it that this community that is clamoring for food that's good for you and this and that completely dropped the ball on that store? And I wonder if it's because we lost track of the fact that we're in charge. That the glut of sandboxes that taste like deep fried, cow balls. Yes.
Okay.
I said it. I'm on record. That we just go there because now it's habit. And we've lost track of the fact that there are other sandboxes to play in. We go and eat at 2 vegan restaurants that are delicious. One called Sage's and the other one called Vertical Grill. Both run and operated by the same man, kind of a food genius when it comes to creating vegetarian, vegan cuisine. And for as delicious as it is and health conscious, he struggles. And I sit and listen to people who say, oh, I wish I could be eating better. Or but I just can't cook at home. And I go down to Carl's Jr. or KFC and, well, that's just all my family can eat because that's all the time I have. When there's these 2 perfectly adequate restaurants sitting right there waiting to serve them, and they don't have enough willpower or brains or whatever it is to pull their head out of their ass long enough to see that there's other options other than what we've always done. And there is a human tendency to fall into the trap of complacency. This is how I've always done it. This is how I'm going to do it. And the sandboxes that we choose to go and be a part of are truly our own making. They exist, excuse me, they exist because we asked for them. Mm-hmm. And we didn't have the balls, we don't have the balls apparently, to ask for something different. So then let's expand the vision out to a bigger sandbox, to the government, to our local governments, to our state governments, to our national governments. Another sandbox in which what we put our energy towards is what gets the attention. I mean, there's a reason why there are lobbyists in Washington. Because they're there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, fighting for their cause. Demanding that someone handle them. So you've got the Sierra Club out there, and you've got PETA out there, and you've got the NRA out there, and you've got everyone out there. And they're out there determining this sandbox called the United States because the people, who there are far more of them, sit complacently in their house, not conscious that they could be choosing something different. How many times, every election, some politicians up there saying, we demand change, we demand something different. And yet, how many times do we keep electing the same people, creating the same results and the same laws?
Yep.